Hey buddy, it's the Friendly Potter here doing a 6-month review of using my BTH Sirius wheel. When I got the wheel, I did an unboxing video for you to show you what it was like to receive one of these wheels, but I didn't go into a review of how it is actually using it. So that's what this video is all about. This video is going to be perfect if you're a hobby potter thinking about getting a wheel of your own. Maybe you're in a community studio right now and you're wondering, should I get a wheel? Which one should I get? This video is going to break down what makes a BTH Sirius wheel work so great. So for my experience, I have to say that this has been my favorite wheel I have used, and part of that is just from the value of it alone. As you probably know, these wheels, any wheel by BTH, is significantly cheaper and more affordable than other wheels on the market, whether that's Shimpo or Brent. These perform at a much lower price point. When I was in the market looking myself, I had thrown on different types of wheels, never a BTH, and it felt like a total risk because there weren't any videos out there really explaining how these wheels function, but the specs look good. And so I took that risk, and after 6 months, I have to say that this is a super great wheel. This wheel can center 88 pounds of clay, and I have to be honest with you, I've only centered 6 pounds on it because I'm a functional potter and anything bigger than that isn't really in my wheelhouse. But when I am centering typically around 20 ounces of clay at a time, it does obviously a really good job at doing that. Typically my foot on the foot pedal is never really past half, even when I'm trying to center a piece, because it performs at such a high caliber. It picks up your simple mugs, bowls, plates. That's really easy for it to do. One of my favorite things about this wheel is just how quiet it is. And so I wanted to show you just a little bit of what that sounds like when I was throwing on this wheel yesterday. As you can see, it's really quite quiet. And to me, it kind of sounds like our air purifier that we have going on 24/7. It's a real steady hum. Although I'm typically listening to music or a book while I'm throwing, some days, especially when I'm recording videos, I'm not wearing headphones and the sound does not bother me. My wife, she's typically in the home when I'm throwing, and it's never a bother to her. Even if she's like trying to read or concentrate on something, it's a really quiet wheel, and I don't think I've ever really experienced a wheel this quiet. And part of it's because it's new, and that I'm not in a community studio where the wheels are seeing activity on them sometimes 6 or more hours a day, right? So this wheel is taken care of. It's just one owner. I'm throwing on it maybe once or twice a week. And in that, I'm throwing for about an hour and a half to 2 hours at a time. I'm a hobby potter in its fullest sense. So I'm not producing great amounts of work. I think last year on this wheel, I threw about 250 pieces. And it's the same quality of when I unboxed it today. So in 6 months, yeah, about 250 pieces is what I did on it. One of the things I wasn't super thrilled about in that unboxing video was that when you take your foot off of the wheel, it takes about a beat to fully stop. And to me, that performs similar to a Brent wheel. As you know, Brent wheels are far more expensive than the BTH wheels. So to me, it felt comparable. It didn't feel worse than that, but it definitely wasn't how some wheels are. You take your foot off and it immediately kind of stops. This, it's less than a second, but it is noticeable enough where you can't just touch your work the moment you take your foot off the pedal. And so I think 6 months later, my analysis of that is I've gotten totally used to it. So it doesn't bother me anymore. I totally anticipate it. Typically I take my foot off and reach for my tool at the same time that I'm gonna use on the piece. And so I've just incorporated it into the way that I throw pottery. So it really isn't a big deal, and now I don't mind it at all. But I will say when I unboxed it, that was something I was like, shoot, I just wish that this wasn't a thing. Another cool thing about this wheel that I've really valued is just the splash pan. It's something that you're always using, whether you're trimming or you're throwing. Yeah, some way the splash pan is involved. So as you may know, this is a magnetic splash pan. So unlike some other models where you're trying to shimmy in a splash pan and the knobs over time wear down and just the functionality of it isn't a great experience. These click together really easily. They haven't got gunked up with clay. They perform at the same way that I think they were intended to. So putting on a splash pan is not a stressful experience or confusing experience. And so that has been super nice. You can also see that it has some wear and tear on it, and that's purely just me not taking a sponge to the legs, but nothing has rusted, nothing has dented, nothing has dinged. Everything, even the plastic, is super heavy duty plastic. The wheels are, metal, steel, whatever that may be. I throw on a bat, but the wheel head is the same condition it came in. It functions like a Brent, Shimpo, any other wheel. It's built just like that. It's just at a lower price point. I think these wheels are continuing to grow in popularity, and so some encouragement I give to people that comment and ask me how I purchased this wheel is call ahead to pottery stores if they actually have this wheel in stock. I initially made a purchase of this wheel saying it was in stock, and after about 3 weeks it hadn't shipped. And so upon calling, I learned that the wheel actually was back ordered at this point, and it probably wasn't going to show up for another 4 months. And so I was able to cancel that order, and I called around to different distributors to say, do you physically have this wheel in stock, before I made a purchase. And once I did that, I got the wheel the following week after I officially did make a purchase. So I think they are continuing to sell out, grow in popularity. I think people are interested in them because it's name not really known in like the hobby potter community. So this is me just wanting to do due diligence and get the word out there that, hey, this is a new contender in the pottery wheel landscape, and it's one you should totally consider. If you found this content helpful, I would love for you to follow me along and comment on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, or subscribe to me on this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is not one of my primary platforms that I post on, so please follow me along and leave a comment on Instagram or TikTok, as I'm engaging on there every week for sure, almost every day. And I love hearing what other potters are doing. I love to learn from you and hear what tips you have for me. So thanks for following along. This is the Friendly Potter reviewing the BTH Sirius Wheel. Thanks for following along. I'll see you later. Bye, buddy.